Hello, everyone. You're going to need the sheet that says multiplying rational expressions. So today we're going to kick off a rational expression unit, and you're going to see things here that look pretty familiar. So here we see we got some polynomials, quadratics, and they want us to multiply things together. However, for us to do that, we need to go ahead and break things down, factor things out like we've been doing a couple chapters ago. So if I'm looking at this first little fraction here, you can't factor anything else out differently on that. So I'm going to rewrite x minus 1 up top. However, the bottom, if I reorder it, I put my x in front, that's negative x plus 1. Okay, and when we are simplifying or multiplying rational expressions, I never want this leading x to be a negative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out a negative 1. And if I pull out a negative 1, the resulting is whatever was inside goes to its opposite. Okay, so then you have x minus 1 like that. Because if I distribute that, that's the same thing right there. Okay, then I come over here and I see this x squared minus 15x plus 56. And I'm thinking, well, that is going to factor out. So I'm going to do my two parentheses, x and x. Okay, two numbers that multiply to 56, but add to negative 15. So a negative 8 and a negative 7. And then on the bottom, you have this x minus 9. Okay, so then what I want to do is I want to look for factors that are the same. Okay, and if I have the exact same factors or the exact same groupings, then I can cross them out. And with this one here, you only have this piece, and this piece is the exact same. Okay, so I can cross off this with that because they're the exact same. X minus 1 times x minus 1. I can't cross out just an x or just a negative 1. It's got to be the whole piece together. And then if you put back what is left, we can just write it back in simple factored form. So you have x minus 8, you have x minus 7, you have x minus 9 on the bottom. None of those have a matching factor. And then you also have this negative 1 that was out there. So if I put it back together, it's basically this piece right here, but you got that negative. And anytime there's a lone negative, to set it up, I just put the negative like sitting out front. And then we're going to make one fraction bar. And then I'm going to put x minus 8 in parentheses, x minus 7 like that, and then x minus 9 like so. And that's my final answer. Okay, looking at number 2. So number 2, a little bit more factoring you can do with this one. If you start off with the first numerator, you got 10x squared. Pretty simple. On the bottom, you got a couple pieces here. So you're thinking, well, because it's not a trinomial, what is my GCF? What can I pull out of here? 30, 40. Well, 30 and 40, your GCF is 10. And then we look at our x's. Well, they both share at least two x's. So my GCF is a 10x squared. And then I need to put back what it would take to multiply to that. So if I take that times 3x, that's 30x cubed. And if I take that times a 4, that gives me that 40x squared. So that's just factored out on the bottom. Now up top here, I see 12x squared and a 16x. So again, I'm thinking, what's my GCF? 12 and 16, it's going to be a 4. And they both share a 4x. Okay, and then I can go ahead and put what it takes to multiply back together. So 4x times what is 12x squared? Well, that's 3x. 4x times what is 16x? That's a positive 4. Okay, and then in the bottom you have that x plus 3. Now, because we're multiplying, I can really just extend that line, that fraction line, and it's all considered to be like on the same size. So this is all up top, that's all on the bottom. And then you start looking for factors that match up. Well, this 10x squared matches up with that one, so I can cross that. This 3x plus 4 cancels out with this 3x plus 4. So all you have remaining that doesn't match up is a 4x up top and an x plus 3 on the bottom. And again, I cannot cross out this x with that x because this x has a plus 3 attached to it. So that's your final answer. Okay, number 3. Number 3, we have, starting off, we can go ahead and factor this trinomial into 2 parentheses. So n and n. 2 numbers that multiply to negative 35, but add to negative 2. So that's going to be a negative 7 and a positive 5. And then we just have the 5 on the bottom times the 1 over here and the n minus 7. So there's not much to cancel out here. You got this n minus 7, and that's going to cancel out with that one. So that cancels, and what you have remaining is n plus 5 times 1, so that's just n plus 5. And then on the bottom you have this 5. And again, these two 5s can't cancel out because that 5 is attached to that n. So that's my answer. Okay, number 4. Start off with my 4 up top. Look at the bottom, 2x minus 4. I'm like, well, 2 is my GCF. So if I put back what it takes to multiply to that, that'd be x minus 2. Okay, come over here. Again, look for my GCF. 2 again is my GCF. And what does it take to multiply to that? That's going to be an x minus 1. On the bottom, you had the original x minus 1. Okay, and now you look for factors that you can cancel out. So I could cancel this 4 with that 2. Or I'm like, well, here's a 2 and here's a 2. So that's an even cancel. And then you have this x minus 1 and this x minus 1. So those cancel. So you're left with just a 4 up top and an x minus 2 on the bottom. Okay, number 5. Start it off. Look for your GCF up top. It's going to be a 5. So you pull it out. P plus 1 remains. On the bottom, you had a P plus 1 times the 8. And then on the bottom, 5P minus 30. 5 again is going to be your GCF. And then I put it back with a P minus 6 to equal the original. Okay, look for things to cross cancel. P plus 1 with this P plus 1. This 5 with that 5. So we just have an 8 over P minus 6. Okay, number 6. You can start canceling things out, like if you notice something exactly right away. And if you notice, these are the exact same. So I could pull out a GCF, and the resulting would be the exact same GCF of 14R, and then the resulting parentheses would be the same. So I would end up crossing out the GCF and the resulting parentheses. But if I want to work smarter, I see, hey, it's the exact same. So just cross that entire piece out. And then all you got remaining is the 4 over the R plus 8. Okay, we'll do 2 more together. We got number 7. So number 7, you got an A plus 4 up top. Got a 2 on the bottom. Times 6A minus 6. My GCF is going to be a 6. Let's pull that out. You got an A minus 1 remaining. On the bottom, 21A, take away 21. So 21 is your GCF. And A minus 1 remains. Okay, cross cancel. A minus 1, A minus 1. And then if I keep going, I'm like, well, this 2 will cancel with that 6. So that 2 is gone, which leaves a 3 here. And then I'm thinking, well, 3 and 21 also cancel too. So I get rid of that 3, and 3 goes into 21 7 times. So you could have canceled it different ways. You could have taken the 6 with the 21 reduced, and then reduced that 2 with the remaining. But that's the way that I did it. So I have A plus 4 that remains up top, and I have a 7 on the bottom. Okay, number 8. So we're going to go ahead and break this up. N squared plus 14n plus 48. So n and n. 2 numbers that multiply to 48 but add to positive 14. So that's going to be a positive 6 and a positive 8. On the bottom, same thing. It's going to break up n and n. 2 numbers that multiply to negative 18 but add to positive 3. So that's going to be a positive 6 and a negative 3. Okay, come over here. 5n squared, you can't break that up anymore. And then n plus 8 on the bottom. Okay, start canceling out. This matches with this. This one matches with this one. So the remaining piece is 5n squared over n minus 3. Okay, you guys go ahead and do number 9. Number 10. Number 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. And last 18.